Hello and welcome to Nick's Allotment Diary.
So the onions have now started to flop over, they're drying up, so they're ready for harvest. As you can see, they're a pretty decent sized bulb. I've been really pleased with them this year. These are the heat treated sets and they'll definitely be growing them again next year because they've produced a decent crop. What I plan to do now is lift them and then dry them in the greenhouse and storing them for use over the next few months. The sweet corn is doing well. You're starting to see some of the cobs are getting brown coloured tassels, so they need to be harvested before the birds or rodents start eating them like last year. So I'm going to harvest some of my buckets of potatoes. These have been in since the end of March. The foliage has all died back now, so they're definitely ready for harvest. So I'm going to do my first bucket now, which is a bucket of Charlotte potatoes. These are sort of new potatoes. I'm not expecting particularly big yields because of the weather we've had, and keeping them watered has been difficult. So I'll tip the bucket out and straight away I can see there are potatoes. That's a good sign. I'll start taking them out. They're a nice decent size, clean, don't look particularly as if they've got scab or anything, which is good. I'll pick as many of them out as I can. Yeah, they're definitely a decent size, nice new potato size. Should be easy to just give a quick scrub. Oh, not a bad crop really. Quite pleased with those. Seems to be a fair few of them. There we go. That's the majority of them. Then I'll sift through the compost in a minute just to get only the little ones, because I don't want those to be still in the compost. Otherwise they'll be sprouting next year in something else. There we go. Don't know if you can see those. Hopefully you can. Yeah, there we go. So I'll put those in a bag and weigh them and let you know how much I've got. So I've got my scales zeroed to pounds, and the weight is 3.21 pounds. You can see the screen there, which is in kilograms 1.455 kilos. So I'm pretty pleased with that crop from the first bucket, and now I'll move on to the next bucket. This is a variety called Kestrel. They went in at the end of March, so I'll tip them out and see what we get. Oh, ants. First thing, an ant's nest. So the bucket of kestrel potatoes had an ant's nest in it, and rather than me wrestle with the ants on camera, it was a red ant's nest, so they do bite. I've tipped the bucket out onto the compost heap and then carefully extracted the potatoes. So here's the bucket of kestrel. A reasonable amount, not loads, but as I've said before, I don't think we're going to get high yields this year with the amount of hot weather we've had, and keeping the buckets moist was difficult. So we'll just weigh the kestrel. They come to 2.63 pounds, which is 1.195 kilos. So here's the variety Shetland Black. Not too bad a crop, just a flower pot full. Purpley coloured ones. Quite small potatoes, these ones. Not such a good crop, but I don't know what the variety is going to taste like. So I'll weigh those and let you know the amount I get from that bucket. So I've zeroed the scales. Potatoes in a bag. Just over 2 pounds, 2.11 pounds, which is 0.960 kilos, so just under a kilo of potatoes. Not bad really, more than I thought. Lots of smaller potatoes.
Hope you enjoyed that, some of my buckets of potatoes. I'm going to keep some of them for later on in the season. I'm going to do what I did last year and keep a couple for Christmas time, so I'm not going to bother growing Christmas potatoes. I'm just going to leave some potatoes in buckets and then harvest them at Christmas time. That worked well for me last year, so I'm definitely going to try it again. Thanks very much for joining me at Nick's Allotment. I'll see you again next time.